How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering. And we're still going further together. For us, for the planet, for the future.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to the UNESCO and World Federation of Engineering Organizations World Engineering Day of 2024's Lisbon event, discussing engineering solutions for a sustainable world. We welcome everyone who's joined us here at the Order of Engineers of Portugal's headquarters in Lisbon, but also everyone that's watching online this conference day live. It's part of a global 24-hour stream that can be followed all over the world. This is the 4th World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development since it was proclaimed by UNESCO to be celebrated every year on March the 4th. It's an international celebration of engineering, engineers, and their vital contribution for a better, sustainable world. And without further delay, it's my pleasure to call to the stage the third speaker of today. We will kick off this opening ceremony. He comes from Nigeria and has been a key player in giving the African continent's concerns a priority in the WFEO. Let's please give a warm round of applause to the current president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, Engineer Mustafa Shehu.
Thank you very much, the coordinator of this ceremony. Your Excellency, the Minister of Science, Technology, and Higher Education in the Republic of Portugal. Your Excellency, Lidia Brito, the Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences at UNESCO. Your Excellencies, the past presidents of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. I can see here my immediate past president, President Gong, President Marlene, and President-elect Seng Chuan, vice presidents, presidents of international engineering institutions here present, presidents of national engineering institutions here present, engineers, women engineers, young engineers, student engineers, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to address and welcome as well as congratulate you all on this auspicious occasion marking the 2024 World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development, which is the fourth in the series of the World Engineering Day celebrations. The theme of this year's World Engineering Day celebration is termed Engineering Solutions for a Sustainable World. While the World Engineering Day celebrations are taking place all over the world in engineering institutions, regulatory bodies, academia, and industries, the main world celebration by the WFEO Secretariat and UNESCO headquarters is being done here in the beautiful city of Lisbon, Portugal. Our choice of Portugal is made because Portugal has made a name in history in the development of sustainable engineering infrastructures like bridges and ships, which facilitated globalization by having their way to South America, to Asia, and to Africa in the 1500s. Their effort in advancing engineering is not only in history. As of today, Portugal supports advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, advanced computing, and open data. According to United Nations Conference of Trade and Development, which took place in January 2024, Portugal ranks 33rd position among 166 countries in the Readiness for Frontier Technology Index. And these, among other, are the reasons why we decide to celebrate the World Engineering Day in Portugal, as well as interact with the Portuguese engineering community, as well as the global engineering community. I therefore thank the leadership of the Order of Engineers Portugal for organizing and hosting this event and making it a glamorous one. And on this note, I also want to appreciate the hard work of my immediate past president to make this a reality. Professor José, we thank you very much. Distinguished engineers, the myriad of problems facing the global community today, from climate change to energy inadequacy in some places and energy transition in others, from water supply to food security, from floods and earthquakes to typhoons, all these are real challenges we occasionally face, whose solutions are deep-rooted in engineering. While trying to bring solutions that will take care of the problems today, we must use all engineering tools available to ensure that these solutions do not jeopardize the survival of the future generation. The solutions also we bring to these challenges have to be people-centered, environmentally considerate, economically sustainable, as well as ethical. I'm glad to observe that sensitization on celebrating the World Engineering Day over the years is increasing, thereby making known to our governments and public the relevance of the profession and the contribution of some of us who have done exceedingly well in providing solutions to some present challenges. Let me also use this opportunity to commend all those who participated in the hackathon and congratulate the winners, as the report will be presented in due course today. The chairman of the Young Engineers Future Leaders Committee deserves special commendation by sensitizing engineering students globally. I believe he's also around at this particular occasion. The leadership of our national member institutions especially are doing very well to publicize this day and to bring out the good engineers in us. We must learn to speak for ourselves, otherwise others will speak to define us in a way they understand us or in a way they promote their interests. From my recent visit to some countries in Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Europe, I am glad to observe that young and women engineers are really working very hard to provide the required solutions to the problems in their respective jurisdictions. It is now on us as leaders of the profession to ensure that we continue to encourage them by equipping them with the right knowledge and skill to tackle these problems as they emerge, or in some cases, before they emerge. The task before us, therefore, is to ensure that enough engineers are produced with the requisite qualification and skill set spread across genders and across all continents and countries. While we have adequate and qualified engineers in some countries, there are many countries that this pose a very huge challenge. Institutions with global, as we are an institution with global responsibility, we cannot relent our effort until these are made globally. In achieving this, WFEO uses its Standing Technical Committee on Engineering Education and Capacity Building most especially. Under the Committee of Engineering Education, we have a special purpose vehicle, the WFEO Academy, which is a training platform developed in collaboration with the UNESCO and International Engineering Alliance, the International Federation of Engineering Societies, the Global Deans, Engineering Deans Council, and the WFEO members to provide an education training platform in the spirit of open science principles. And as part of Engineering 2030 plan to enable more countries to have more engineers with the right skills for sustainable development. I urge all our members to make optimum use of the Academy as well as bring support, suggestions, and ideas to improve what we have in the Academy now. At this juncture, I want to acknowledge and specially commend the China Association of Science and Technology. I believe representatives of CAST are here, for giving support to the WFEO Academy, which will be spread over a period of 5 years. I have since written a letter of commendation to CAST on behalf of WFEO with respect to that. The WFEO, through the Committee of Engineering and Capacity Building, is also working hard to ensure that capacity building of our engineers, as well as various engineering institutions, to make them competent in handling projects and maintaining same in their respective domains, especially in Africa. There are several ongoing efforts towards realizing these objectives, like Africa Coalition, championed by the United Nations, and Capacity Building for Africa project supported by China Association of Science and Technology, which hopefully will attract other supporters as time goes on. I want to express again our sincere gratitude to the China Association of Science and Technology for that support. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we should see ourselves as privileged to be engineers and solution providers. I therefore charge every one of us to identify and provide solutions to one or two problems in their respective domains, to report and to celebrate during the next year's World Engineering Day. In conclusion, before I conclude, I want to invite the immediate past chairman of the Committee on Information and Communication to make a presentation. They have produced a book at the end of their tenure. India used to be the chair of the Committee of Information and Communication, and they have produced a book on behalf of WFEO. May I humbly request the chairman of the Information and Communication Committee to come and make this presentation briefly. Mr. Rathori. Please, can you give him applause? This is one of the achievements of a standing technical committee. Every technical committee, at the end of its tenure, is supposed to produce a document which is to be used by the global engineering community. So we thank this particular standing technical committee, and we call on other standing technical committees also to follow suit. May I invite the past presidents to...
No, you're good.
Yeah. Immediate past President Goenke, President, please can you come and support me in receiving this?
The presidents.
Immediate past President, my President-elect, because I have to hand over to you after.
Do we have enough?
Yeah.
We have
Yes,
three.
yes. Can we come here? shake hands with you.
Of course.
The chairman.
Yeah.
The chairman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come there.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all.
That's all.
So this is actually one of the essence of the World Engineering Day, to celebrate the achievements and the contributions of our engineers. And so please, I want every one of us here to look forward to doing something worth presenting at the next World Engineering Day. With this, I want to say thank you very much, and I wish everyone a very successful World Engineering Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Shehu, and all the past presidents that join me here on the stage. Our next speaker already was here a few seconds ago. Our next speaker is Portuguese, a professor and a lecturer, and has a consulting role in the Portuguese Engineers Association. He was Engineer Shehu's predecessor, and as a president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. Let's please give another round of applause to Professor José Vieira.
Good morning, everybody. Dear Professor Elvira Fortunato, Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education of Portugal. Dear Dr. Lidia Brito, Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences in the UNESCO. Dear Ambassador of Tunisia in Portugal. Dear Mustafa Shehu, WFEO President. Dear Engineer Seng Chuan, WFEO President-elect, dear Engineer Fernando Almeida Santos, President of the Portuguese Association of Engineers, Ordem dos Engenheiros, respected leaders of the schools of engineering and of the Ordem of Engineers and the Ordem of Engineers, Technical Engineers, dear Dr. Marlene Kanga, dear Professor Gong, past presidents of WFEO, esteemed WFEO national and international members, representatives, dear colleagues, engineers around the world, especially dear young engineers and students, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor, privilege, and pleasure as the immediate past president of WFEO, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, to address the engineering community from the beautiful Portuguese capital city of Lisbon in the opening ceremony of the UNESCO World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development, March 4th, 2024. First and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Portuguese Association of Engineers, organizer of this ceremony, with special recognition to its president, Fernando Santos. The proclamation of this day has been one of WFEO's most significant achievements, and I want to stress how important it is to us. It is, of course, a meaningful acknowledgement of our 50 years partnership with UNESCO. The distinguished and highly appreciated presence here of Her Excellency UNESCO ADG Dr. Lidia Brito exemplifies the depth of this collaboration. But it goes far beyond symbolic recognition. In the context of the two latest decades, the United Nations and its agencies have rightly analyzed the high stakes of adapting the climate and environmental crisis in order to both mitigate its effects and design new industrial, economic, and social models that allow sustainable development. By creating an event for the World Engineering Day, WFEO is continuing to show its members and the world its ability to grow and adapt even in the most challenging of times in order to be recognized as the peak international organization in promotion of engineering and engineers around the world. Sustainability means a better understanding of the impact of our productive activities and ways of life, and creating the technologies, processes, and infrastructures that make them possible. None of this is conceivable nor feasible without putting engineers at the heart of such a project. It has taken a great amount of advocacy efforts during the recent years to get the idea of global institution agenda, but it is happening now, and this is very meaningful for this day. World Engineering Day is a celebration of the crucial contribution of the engineering profession to build resilient systems and communities and improve the well-being of the many, while leaving no one behind. It is also a great opportunity for professional institutions of engineers to showcase practical examples of how their members make such differences at the benefit of their cities, countries, and regions. Engineering for sustainable development is especially critical in developing countries to mitigate the effect of climate change, reduce poverty, and design relevant infrastructures and development models. To achieve capacity building in those countries, it is essential to raise and harmonize the standards of engineering education. This is crucial to reach one of the UNESCO Engineering Report's most important recommendations, to train more engineers with adequate skills. It is also essential to stimulate the energy and creativity of young engineers to invent technological solutions for the future. This is why the theme of this year's World Engineering Day is set as Engineering Solutions for a Sustainable World. Its main message is to leave an opportunity to celebrate engineering and the contribution of the innovative and responsible work of engineers to a better and sustainable world. This objective is both a strategic matter for the WFEO and a key aspect of our contributions to World Engineering Day celebrations, notably through the International Students Hackathon, the competition which we organize for the third year with the participation of many engineering teachers and students in a number of countries around the world. Dear national and international WFEO members, I hope that you will enjoy your own celebration of World Engineering Day, and I also invite you to watch, either live or in replay, the feature events streaming that is hosted this year again on WFEO's official websites. We welcome the scientific and technological community to celebrate the World Engineering Day with us together and to work collectively for a more sustainable future for the benefit of humanity and the environment. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor José Vieira. A small correction on my part. I know that we have right now more than 11,000 people watching online, and this is actually the 5th World Engineering Day on March the 4th, so my bad, sorry for the confusion. But let's carry on with this conference day here in Lisbon. Our next speaker is current President-elect of the Federation of Engineering Organizations since October 2023. He's also the Chairman of Asia-Pacific Cooperation Engineers Coordinating Committee. Let's give, please, a warm welcome to Engineer Seng Chuan.
Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, Professor Elvira Fortunato, Assistant Director General for Natural Science of UNESCO, Dr. Lidia Brito, and President of Order of Engineer, Fernando Almeida Santos. and President of WFEO, Mustafa, Shehu, and immediate past President of WFEO, José, Vieira, and our past President, Professor Gong and Dr. Marlene Kanga, colleagues, and ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the UNESCO WFEO World Engineering Day 2024. I'm delighted, and this is the first time I enter to this country, the beautiful city of Lisbon. And yesterday weather was very good, and yeah, today it's not too bad as well. We are discussing the solutions of fostering a sustainable future of global community of engineers. The theme of this year's WED 2024, Engineering Solution for a Sustainable World, is a fitting reminder of central role that engineers play in addressing global challenges such as climate change, resource depletion, and environmental degradations, as well as social and economic issues. Engineering goes way beyond building of infrastructure or a products. It is about finding and deploying innovative solutions to complex problems that affect our planet and its inhabitants. As the world seeking better future, engineers exercise a significant influence over the outcome. The onus is on us to conceive, design, create, and implement technology to unlock a better future for all of us. It is entirely appropriate for energy transition and sustainability to be chosen as the focus of this afternoon's conference, as cleaner and renewable source of energy can be significantly improve our prospect for achieving a net zero future. I'm confident that the insight of industry leaders and experts will help us make more impactful contributions to the ongoing energy transition within our respective sphere and influence. I look forward to learn from today's presentations and hope that it will inspire greater collaborations and meaningful actions and let us harness the transformative potential of engineering to create an endless opportunity and possibility for our futures and the generations to come. I wish everybody have a fruitful day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineers Seng, Chuan, Tan. As you know, this event is taking place at the Portuguese Association of Engineers, so the next speaker should feel quite at home. Let's please give a warm round of applause to Engineer Fernando de Almeida Santos, the President of the Portuguese Association of Engineers.
Good morning, everyone. I must begin to compliment our Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, Professora Elvira Fortunato, and as a member of this organization, engineer also. Dear Dr. Lidia Brito, Assistant Director General for Natural Science UNESCO, from a Portuguese-speaking country, Mozambique also. And dear Mustafa, our President in exercise of WFEO, World Federation of Engineering Organizations. Dear José Vieira, big to you, because be a representative of Portugal as immediate past president of the WFEO, but also for this beautiful organization. Thank you. Dear Seng Chuan, next president or elected president, but next in exercise. Dear Sebastião Feyo de Azevedo, I don't know where is he here, president of the National Academy of Engineers of Portugal. Respected leaders of schools of engineering, leaders also of national bodies of Ordem dos Engenheiros, and the ambassadors here present. Dear Marlene, Kanga and Gong, welcome also to Portugal. And also dear President of UPADI, Ari Herrera, I don't know where he's there. Thank you, Ari. And dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, welcome to Portugal first of all. It is an enormous pleasure that we receive here in Portugal the celebration of the WET, World Engineering Day, 5th one, on this 4th of March of 2024. As bastonário, it means president here of Ordem dos Engenheiros, I must say, proud to be in my country with you. Portugal is a medium European country, small in a world context, but big and huge in story, feelings, international dimension, and engineering, of course. And also in sustainability, that's the theme of this World Engineering Day. For sure, a modern and fashion country at the moment. Southwestern European country, geographic and geostrategic, located with ties between Europe, Africa, and America, Portugal has known how to profit this situation. There are 9 countries and that speaks Portuguese in the world. A bit of our strong presence in the world along the story. Portugal in Europe, Brazil in America, Angola, Moçambique, Cabo Verde, São Tomé e Príncipe, Guiné-Bissau, Guiné Equatorial in Africa, Timor-Leste, and the territory of McHugh in Asia and Oceania, so for all over the world we have presence. Flavors of the Portuguese presence of the world, of course. Portugal is an assumed European country, besides that, with too many responsibilities in the world, in this old continent, of course, just and mainly in engineering also. Of course, we feel European country, but also Mediterranean country. We not with this sea, Mediterranean, it's true, but with a link between Atlantic and this sea, Mediterranean Sea, and with some of the main southwestern culture, climate, culture, heritage, agriculture, gastronomy is totally a demonstration of this our Mediterranean identification. Olives and oil, olive oil of course, not petroleum oil, it should be nice. Grapes and wine are the bestest in the world, as you know. So Portugal is a country of many things, but also a country of engineering, and engineering for the world. Our international General Secretary of United Nations is also an engineer from Ordem dos Engenheiros here in Portugal. And we are disponible for excellency, present in all forms of distinction of engineers today. So it's a pleasure to organize that. We'll be in more forums like that, of course. So thanks a lot to everyone. Enjoy Portugal.
Thank you, Engineer Almeida Santos. Thank you for reminding us of the role of Portuguese engineering and Portuguese engineers all over the world. The next speaker has been at UNESCO for almost 15 years. She's a forest engineer born in Mozambique, but today she visits us from France. Let's please give a round of applause to Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences of UNESCO, Dr. Lidia Brito.
Well, let me start by wishing all here present, but also online, a very happy World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development. Excellencies, esteemed engineers, distinguished guests, it's really a great honor for me to stand before you today on this significant occasion, the World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development, to celebrate the dedication and the transformative impact of engineering. Our team this year, Engineering Solutions for a Sustainable World, deeply resonates as we confront the huge, enormous challenges of our era. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Ordem dos Engenheiros for graciously hosting and organizing this event together with the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. This organization, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, I have to say is a very special organization for UNESCO. The steadfast commitment to sustainable development that this organization puts forward makes really this long collaboration with UNESCO a very important area for UNESCO, and really is the essence of good, wonderful global cooperation. Distinguished participants, our world stands at a pivotal juncture, facing challenges such as climate change, resource depletion, rapid urbanization, and social inequities that demand urgent attention. As engineers, we possess the key to unlock solutions that can shape a brighter future. In 2010, our first UNESCO report on engineering underscored the necessity for talented engineers to address the problems stemming from development. Yet, it also lamented the decline in interest in engineering among young people in numerous countries, a concern that persists today. And I'm very happy to see that we have today here many schools of engineering that are indeed a solution for the more engineers we need. According to the UNESCO Engineering Report of 2021, nearly 1 in 3 engineering roles will remain unfilled annually until at least 2030. This persistent talent gap jeopardizes economical growth and casts a shadow over a broader sustainable development that all of us wish. Throughout history, women have faced underrepresentation in engineering, and I'm very glad that I see many women here in the audience, but you saw the movie, the film, very few women there. And I don't think it's because the filmmaker didn't want to put women, it's that we are underrepresented in the engineering profession. So women have faced underrepresentation in engineering, constituting a mere 28% of engineering graduates worldwide. This is data from 2018. We must dismantle barriers, challenge gender stereotypes, and cultivate environments where all aspiring engineers can thrive. Engineering multidisciplinarity nature, blending physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics with creative design, invention, and innovation continues to expand its scope. As we embrace technological advancements, engineers must acquire new qualifications and competencies to pioneer new frontiers. Yet disparities persist within the engineering landscape, with some disciplines flourishing while others remain overlooked. Moreover, the capacity gap between the global north and the global south continues to widen. Dear esteemed engineers, we need to take bold actions to address these challenges, mentor young minds, igniting curiosity, and promote engineering education to nurture the next generation of problem solvers, embrace diversity in all its forms, and advocate for equal opportunities. We must also raise awareness of the pivotal role and evolving nature of engineering among the general public, governments, and policymakers. So, dear Minister, I'm very happy that you are here and that you are an engineer, because definitely we need the support at highest level to promote engineering education and the engineering profession. So governments and policymakers must recognize the critical role engineering plays in development and its potential to drive sustainable development. In 2023, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution proclaimed 2024-2033 International Decade of Sciences for Sustainable Development. This historic declaration presents us with a unique opportunity to harness the indispensable role of engineering in advancing sustainable development. As UNESCO takes the lead in implementing this decade, we are poised to make significant strides in collaboration with a diverse array of partners. And, dear President, I do hope that the WFEO will be one of these founding partners of the decade. As we collaborate World Engineering Day, remember that our work transcends borders, disciplines, and time. We engineer hope, resilience, and progress. Together, we can build a sustainable world where every child thrives, every patient heals, and every community flourishes. Thank you very much for your unwavering commitment. Really good to be here. And I'm sure that together we will make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lidia Brito, and thank you for being a role model to inspire more women to becoming engineers in the future. The next speaker is also a woman, and she's a member of the Portuguese government with a passion for sustainable technologies. Let's please give a very warm welcome to the Portuguese Minister of Science, Technology and Higher Education, Professor Elvira Fortunato.
Muito bom dia a todas e a todos. Dear President of Ordem dos Engenheiros, Fernando Almeida Santos, dear Mustafa Shehu, President of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, dear Seng Chuan, President-elect of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, dear José Vieira, immediate past President of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, dear Lidia Brito, Assistant Director General for Natural Sciences of UNESCO, dear ambassadors, a kind word to the President of the Portuguese Academy of Engineering, Sebastião Feyo de Azevedo, and also to Shane McHugh and Wazid Azizi from the Royal Academy of Engineering, and a special word to all engineers here today and also remotely. I would like to start by thanking the invitation to be at this opening ceremony that marks a day that celebrates engineers, including myself. This event is organized by the Order of Engineers in conjunction with the World Federation of Engineering Organizations as part of World Engineering Day 2024, proclaimed by UNESCO in 2019, which this year will be dedicated to engineering solutions for a sustainable world. As you know, this event has special significance for me, because in 2020 I won the WFEO GREE Award, aimed to distinguish the work performed by women engineers worldwide in order to promote diversity, inclusion, and gender equality in engineering. WFEO integrates the main engineering associations that at the international level represent more than 30 million engineers from more than 100 countries, is a member of the main group of the United Nations Scientific and Technological Community, and is a member of UNESCO. Although I have been a minister for the last 2 years, I never stopped being an engineer. And this is now, I feel, an engineer among peers. These UNESCO initiatives shows the importance that this professional class has always had in world society and economy. Professionals who are more essential every day when Europe is facing challenges that require technological advanced answers adapted to modernity and sustainability. On the theme of engineering solutions for a sustainable world, this celebration acquires a renewed impact due to the debate around, for example, the energy transition. All around the world, the countries' leaders are centering their public policies and their national strategies on the development of scientific research and technological projects focused on energy systems engineering, which underpin industrial transformation, innovation, and the global economic structure. This is a very exciting time in the history of national and international engineering, particularly in the areas of technology, computing, and information and communication technologies, as well as the role of artificial intelligence. The digital transition that Europe is going through brings enormous challenges, but it also brings many opportunities. It brings new professions, it brings the need to seek and find disruptive solutions to help citizens and the economy. It brings a closer and more fruitful relationship between academia and the industrial and business sectors. Technological advances are changing the nature of work and the required qualifications. Today, the so-called transversal competencies and skills, which enable workers to adapt to different tasks, are increasingly valued and demanded of higher education graduates. The digital revolution, artificial intelligence, and automation are profoundly transforming the labor market as we know it, and that is requiring countries to be able to adapt to these changes to keep their populations up to date with what is required in the world. As such, investment in science and innovation and in renewable energy sources and sustainable materials is essential to promote more scientific research and scientific employment. It is also a priority to find ways of energy efficiency and saving and to ensure that the transition is fair and inclusive. Portugal, and I would add the other member states of the European Union, are concerted and aligned in terms of policies so that together we can create the conditions for an effective energy transition based on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, managing raw materials in a responsible way, researching and combating climate change, and promoting more conscious and responsible models of production and consumption. I'm well aware of the importance of science in this energy transition process. Only with more research we'll have new technologies, sustainable solutions, and disruptive innovation, which are essential to fulfill our commitments to the environment. I would like to highlight that Portugal has been standing out as one of the European Union countries with the highest percentage of renewable energy in its energy, while it is also one of the countries that has managed to control the best prices in the wake of the crisis caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Portugal, at the end of last year, was self-sufficient in electricity production for almost 6 days and even exported electricity to Spain. Portugal has all the conditions and capabilities to consolidate itself as a future-oriented technological ecosystem. And part of that potential is due to all of you who have kept up to date on the transformations that dictate our future will be. Thank you very much, and again, congratulations to all the engineers.
Oh, meu Deus. Accidents happen. I'll ask you to wait just a little bit because we have a surprise. I call another past president of the WFEO, Professor Gong, to give a special word.
Thank you very much.
For the viewers. Let me use engineer as a title to Professor Area Fortunato. To recognize his world-renowned innovative contribution to transparent electronics and nano-engineering, WFEO has elected her as awardee of the WFEO GREE Award for Women in Engineering. That award is donated by GREE Electronic Appliances and supported by UNESCO to recognize the contributions of women in engineering and to promote, to set role models for women in engineering and to promote engineering inclusive and equalized, gender equalized development for sustainable development. So as the then president for the year 2020, it's my great pleasure to take this opportunity to confer this award personally to engineer Elvira after 4 years. Actually, the celebration was planned at the first World Engineering celebration in March 4th, 2020. But unfortunately, we have to cancel it. But today, yeah, because of the COVID. But today, on behalf of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, and I confer this to you, I think. Or,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and your name is behind. Have a good. So, let's show you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is much better to receive in person like today than during the COVID times. Thank you very much to the WFEO for this recognition, and this is also a huge responsibility, but I guess also give me more strong and also more. We need to make our work as in the best way we think. So thank you very much for also for this recognition.
Thank you, Professor Gonque. Thank you, Professor Engineer and Minister Elvira Fortunato. The subject of energy is more than ever at the center of every country's strategic considerations, not only due to environmental concerns, the need for decarbonization policies in energy systems, but also the need for economic and energetic independence in many parts of the world. Engineering for sustainable development. It's the subject of our next speaker. He's a professor, a chemical engineer, and the president of the Portuguese Academy of Engineering. Please give a round of applause to Professor Sebastião Feyo de Azevedo.
Greetings to everybody, including the amazing number of people that are apparently, I think, seeing us through the internet. Some people from Australia maybe having dinner, I don't know. Well, my greetings to, I'm not particularly strict in protocol, but still I have to say something. Of course, first of all, my colleague and Minister Elvira Fortunato, she's apart from being minister, she's a member of Ordem dos Engenheiros and member of Academy of Engineering, Madame Lidia Brito from UNESCO. And when she said, oh, our Lidia is not here, I was going to mention something, but they are not here. But I'll mention anyway. When Lidia Brito said that women are underrepresented, well, I have a chemical engineering daughter. I say, yes, maybe here you are slightly underrepresented in numbers, but you are clearly overrepresented in quality. So things are balanced. Things are balanced. Things are balanced. My greetings to the leaders of the WFEO, to Fernando Almeida Santos. Allow me just a special greetings to José Vieira. We have been following each other in Vice Presidency of Order, then FEANI eventually. We did a number of steps one after the other, so that's very interesting. But let's come to the point which I was invited to, and I have to say that it is really a very sweet honor for me to be speaking to you. I got my first degree a few years ago, more or less, well, 1973 to be more clear. And of course, after 51 years of working with engineering, it's a great pleasure, more than an honor, to be speaking to this group of people. The other next thing is we have always to learn how to work with this issue. Yes, good. Well, so this was the introduction. I know it's here. I usually start my talks by saying what I'm going to say. And really, I usually work my conferences in three parts. First of all, I start with the end. I start with the core of the message. I start with that idea that I would be pleased if people will take home. But then I organize my talk in three parts usually. More than three is a very nice number. Is a mythic number. So yes, it is. It has some religious basis. It has communications basis. Those who teach us communications tell us to say 3 times the same thing for people to keep it in mind. You know, it's like that. So my 3 parts are, first of all, I'll speak a little bit of history of the evolution. Then the core of the matter is some thoughts, some ideas I would like to share with you. And eventually, I want to support the dimension of and relevance of engineering with engineering cases in Portugal. So then, of course, I say what I have said. I finish saying what I have said. So let's start by the beginning. And begin, it's very easy somehow. It's because there is engineering in everything around us. Everything around us and around the world. It's outside in the world, everything is engineering. And I believe there are 3 things we should say. First, and 3 things are to affirm. Engineering is affirm and do. These are the 2 keywords I associate immediately with engineering. First of all, affirm the vital role of engineering concerning the future, in promoting the development of countries, of communities, for naturally nowadays, it's out of discussion, a sustainable development of the world. Secondly, to affirm that the necessary increase in productivity and competitiveness, we are in a global world. So we need to be clear about that. We must be productive and we must be competitive. It's only feasible with our vision, with the systemic vision of engineering, with the capacity of doing, the word I mentioned before, the capacity of doing of engineers. And these are the main ideas that I think characterize engineering and engineers. And the third thing is further affirm that on another level, I would say, engineering is a condition of the future because of the example of organization, of quality, of responsibility that is so badly needed in so many countries in the world, not only in Portugal, in so many countries in the world. And for all that, my idea is clear that crucial that institutions have a strong responsibility. Institutions have the responsibility for development of engineering to commit themselves and impose themselves on the political level so that engineering is a much more integral part of design and implementation of public policies. That's part of the issue. And these are the ideas that are behind everything I'm going to say afterwards. Well, what evolution of engineering? We could go back. I like history, you know. When we get older, we enjoy more and more history. People normally don't respect much history. And of course, we know about our industrial revolutions. Industrial revolutions occur when we have these kind of things. First, new energy sources. Secondly, disruptive scientific and technological innovations with impact on production. Thirdly, human resources capable of absorbing the change. And fourth, a free market society with investment capacity. And if you go back to 1800, you see this is from 1800 till today, this is the main idea on this. But look at this, from steam engine of the 18th century to the artificial intelligence of today, there have been always a sequence of qualitative leaps of so-called, I tell you why I said so-called, it's history, vertiginous changes in the history of humanity. But there's one thing in common. Engineering is always at the center of the revolution. Of the evolution, not revolution. And what has been the human reaction when I said in the last slide about the so-called, it's very interesting to see. So many sentences that were told 150 years ago that we say today about the evolution. We say the same things, you know. It's fantastic. When steam engine and the age of steel appeared with locomotives and steamboats going down the Mississippi, not locomotives, the boats, allowing for goods to be massively exported around the world. It was written in a newspaper in the States. Now we have a global world. That was 200 years ago. Or the inventions of Edison that changed the world forever. Or the invention of transistors that times of dramatic changes. We say the same things today. Of course, the moment is different, but we say the same things. We find in the literature many other quotes that from the past with the same words we use today to characterize our contemporary life. But speaking of the present, it is clear, there are indicators of some differences. And I just show you 3 pictures, which some of the specialists in electronics probably know. This is the number of transistors, the evolution of the number of transistors per microprocessor from back in 71 to current days. These billions are American billions, still are large numbers. Still is a lot. It's not the Portuguese billion, but still is a lot. Or the historical cost of computer memory storage. When I came back from Britain back in '82, I convinced my head of department to give me money to buy a microcomputer, 82. And said, okay, all right, I'll do that. And then I asked him for another 1,000, I don't know how much money, for 256K of RAM. That was a strong computer of the time. That was a strong computer of the time. Look at this. Or look at the capacity, that's the most important one, in terms of flops, of floating point operations. The evolution of the capacity of computers to do floating point operations. This is absolutely amazing, of course. This is amazing. We can use the same words as the ancient people said, but now speaking about this. Of course, this is happening with people like me, or I see 2 or 3 of you here that passed through the same things I'm going to mention. I lived and studied in the Upper Paleolithic time when we had this fantastic, environmentally friendly equipment, the slide rule. There were no machines. There were no machines. I said this once in a conference, and a young lady, young 30-year-old, said, "Professor, I'm sorry, what is a slide rule?" And I said, "Oh, my God, you are right. And then I told her what was, because, okay, I had a computer, I went to Google, I got it. This instrument, which really looks like it dates from the Paleolithic, it prevailed until 1973. But more, in numerical methods, we had this fantastic machine, this mechanical arithmetic calculation machine, that was all we had in our room, in our laboratories. We had 4 or 5 of these machines for us to go there and go back and come back to our table and continue doing our hand calculations. You know that, guys. Yes. You know that. And I didn't say that, but of course it's very romantic to me because I learned how to work with this in my father's office back in 1959, because all people with shops had these machines to do calculations on those days. Now, we are under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, which of course is a major umbrella, a large umbrella. I also worked with artificial intelligence techniques. It's a designation. It goes back, as you know, to the 50s of last century with Alan Turing, with McDermott. That's a designation that covers methods that human beings developed with which they design machines that mimic or independently simulate some human activity. I put human activity in a good red paint and capital letters because human activity is always there. Human activity is always there. And of course, we have nowadays robots well increased and well trained. If you phone today to a Portuguese laboratory for medicine things, medical things, it's a chatbot that answers you, and you have to cope with it. You have to do your appointments through that. You have the ChatGPT, which of course has, it's very interesting, but has risks and challenges. But well, why not? This is going to happen when? I don't know. Or this is very interesting, no? We shall see how it's going to happen, if students like it or not, and if professors like it or not. It's a question of, but that's a joke that came in The Guardian in 2019. But now let me come to the main things. That's to bring you some ideas, some food for thought. First thing is open mind, reform, adapt. 3 key words for us, for the present and for the future. What I say is this: we are in the midst, as I mentioned before, of the 4th industrial or 5th industrial, if you want, revolution. Of course, in times of changes with new technologies and so on. I completely de-dramatize this evolution. Today we live in times of changes, as others have lived before. Today we simply have to be up to date, as others had to be before. And we have to adapt, like others have had before. And we have to maintain a critical spirit, as others have had to maintain that critical spirit before. A stronger critical spirit, more, maybe, but a critical spirit. Of course. But then we use the instruments that we have now available for a number of good reasons. The other thing is, of course, the tremendous enlargement, the spectrum of knowledge in science and technology and engineering. I'm going to show you a thematic list, topics in which engineers have, engineering has a fundamental say. Construction, of course, the good old construction, agriculture, of course, old agriculture, production of new materials, energy and climate, environmental, economical, and social sustainability, combating climate changes and environmental threats, information and communications technology, digital transition, it was mentioned already here, even by Elvira Fortunato, computing and processing of big data, artificial intelligence, as we all know, or innovation and emerging technologies in areas such as microelectronics, robotics, genetic engineering, and others that have no face yet. The path is for energy transition, and I'm going to speak about that later, electrification in transport industry and beyond, major problems associated with a major issue for me, that's water. A major issue, and I don't think politically people are doing what they should do for thinking of the next future of water, not in Portugal at least. Science and innovation, the organization and management of the territory, a big problem in our country because of the desertification is a big issue. Social integration, you name it. And all this has to do with engineering. But now, 3 values. The first of which is trust. Trust is, in a free market society, the most important value to guarantee development. Without trust, society collapses. And how do we get trust? We get it as much as the perception of stakeholders concerning our quality, organization, rigor, stability, and ethics. That's that. There's no tricks. Either we are offer what we offer and we are trusted or not. Secondly, ethics. Ethics is discussed since the days of the philosophers of ancient Greece. Everybody knows that. And Plato, Socrates, the old one, not the one we know around in Portugal. Aristotle and some others. And it involves, in terms of engineering, respect and one thing which is a complicated thing, courage. Courage for people to assume professional responsibilities in a transparent way. That's the major issue. And with the pressure of today, including politics, courage is very complicated. And if we don't have courage, it's a problem. Finally, ambition. It's of a different nature. But in so many countries, in Portugal for sure, but in so many countries, it's a state of mind for us to thinking of the global competitive world of today. Ambition to be more productive, to be more efficient, to be more organized. And these are the 3 values I want to throw to you to think about. Then you have an evolution in models of work and training. Of course, nowadays in hybrid mode. People somewhere in the world are, I hope listening to me, because I have to be here. I'm used to have this headset, so I hope they are listening to me because of we are working in hybrid mode. In an increasingly dematerialized way, which requires adapting of spaces in companies and training institutes. In Portugal, I will give you examples of companies that are really adapting their structures for work. Then, 2 important things, and one of them has much to do with this meeting. First of all, the multidisciplinary nature of basically all process, leading to a need of having multidisciplinary teams. Secondly, the perception of multiculturalism, which is the case here today. Because our world, with the evolution of communications and of transports, our world has shrunk. The world has shrunk. So our 6, 7, 8 main cultures in the world are a few hours away from each other, in person. And they are in real time through communications. So we must have this concept of multiculturalism. And we have, of course, the perception that we live in a 24/7 world. The people that are now going to bed in a few hours in Australia or getting up in America. And we have to organize our work thinking of that. It's clear that. And adapt the critical spirit to the current communications model and AI instruments. Critical spirit, I mentioned that a slide ago, has always been required throughout times. Now it has a different shape, but it is the same concept. Then, innovation and entrepreneurship. I think COVID, more than anything in recent times, showed how important science is for us. And also, it's clear to me, the minister is not here, but she knows I know that, the degree of development of science in a country says a lot, says all about the country's state of development, particularly its competitive capacity. So it's important to implement public policies aiming to incorporate knowledge in the form of innovation in the productive market. It's important to value knowledge. It's important to value knowledge. How? Well, there are many ways. And believe me, I'm not just saying I also did it, not nowadays, but I also did it and a lot along my life of work. Projects involving research institutions, industry, promote PhDs with industry. My first PhD worked in a Portuguese sugar refinery and is still working there. He's about to retire now. Promote the insertion of doctorates into the productive fabric. Promote entrepreneurship through science and technology parks, technology valorization and transfer centers, other instruments. Globally, the idea is that bring scientists to the market. Bring scientists to the market. Finally, before going to the case studies, talent retention and attraction is something which is now in the political speeches all over. It is a major issue for all countries. It's a major issue for all countries. The more developed the country is, nowadays with 50 euro trips or 20 euro trips, young people, they are very keen to go abroad. I tell you, namely for Portuguese, namely in Europe. I lived 5 years in Britain, and I would stay there and I didn't stay for other reasons, for some reasons, but so and that was 50 years ago, not or 40 years ago, not today. With WhatsApp, with saying hello to mom and so on, it's really appealing to people to go abroad. So what we have to do is to attract people. As we have to attract people from other countries, as in other countries they have to attract people. Let's put it this way. The important is that the balance, the commercial balance of knowledge is at least even. Preferably in our favor, but at least even. Young Portuguese are generally very well trained in engineering. The availability and motivation to go abroad is high. And of course also, but not only for the low salaries that we have. Also, but not only for the low salaries. So we have to create conditions promoting salary improvement, yes, but including strengthening major motivation and achievement initiatives, entrepreneurship. Essentially, young people in any country must feel that their country or the country where they are living is developing and that it will provide them with opportunities to achieve their goals, their dreams. Now, engineering in Portugal, I dare to say that engineering is publicly recognized as a major asset for our development. I think engineering is doing well within Portugal and all over the world, projecting its image in the world. Companies capable of competing internationally, excellent higher education in engineering, competitive high-level research. The issue is largely on the capacity of institutions to be able to influence design and implementation of public policies. And I speak of my Academy of Engineering or Ordem dos Engenheiros, I call it Engineers Portugal, of universities, of industrial associations. And speaking of Ordem dos Engenheiros, I would like you to know my idea. They are doing well. They are doing very well. A fine job in promoting engineering, recognizing new engineering areas, promoting quality, promoting internationalization, promoting lifelong learning, and fighting for adequate public policies. For example, we have Ordem dos Engenheiros recognizes now 17 and coordinates 17 specialties, and 5 of them are new. Of course, you have the classical, civil, chemical, electrical, so on, forest, mining, agriculture, and so on. But then you have 5 new, very recent: aeronautical, food engineering, biochemical engineering, industrial management, and safety and quality engineering. And it is promoting periodically in its journal discussion of major hot topics: regional development, energy and climate, construction, housing and infrastructures, the blue engineering of the sea, We have a wide sea of opportunities, food and process chain engineering, and these are the issues that are being developed. And recently published a major publication that illustrates 144 notable engineering projects and works. So the Engineers Portugal is undoubtedly a major asset for Portuguese development. Now, I don't know how I am with time, but I have a few cases illustrating the potential of our engineering. And I start with two classic design development. That development that comes from the lab to the pilot to the field. The first one is a company founded by a colleague in environmental issues. That's the cyclone systems for gas-solid separation. Nowadays, a major requirement all over the world in companies. It started almost 40 years ago. It has very solid scientific basis of chemical engineering, separation processes, mathematical modeling, and optimization. Started with laboratory, went into pilot lab, and eventually is now spread in 480 installations like this one. For you to have an idea, they have 23 workers. They won some national prizes. They have 350 customers in 5 continents, 38 countries. 400, I said 480, it's 400, 280 plus 120 installations for emission control and for recovering valuable materials. And 95% of revenues are from exports, and this is how they are disseminated. This is how they are disseminated. The second one is in civil engineering. It had to be. It's a company that developed a most interesting system for some bridge construction. Some, not all of them, of course. Again, it started 20 years ago. It is today recognized among world leaders as a major solution. It's the movable, I'll show you the picture in a second. Movable scaffolding systems with organic pre-stress. That's the technical jargon of the technique. They have a continued scientific investment. And this is the type of, this is a bridge over the Danube. Again, they have a number of patents. They optimize bridge solutions in countries. This is a particularly relevant project in Turkey, which they claim that reduced more than 400,000 tons of materials. It's a mobile scaffolding operated in Turkey in the construction of the deck of 4 viaducts of the Ankara-Sivas high-speed railway line. And they set a world record on the time by building 90-meter spans in just 12 days. That's what they claim, and that's why they have, and that's why they apparently have many customers. And again, here you see down there the revenues and a very large impact worldwide. The third one and the fourth one are what I call the hidden engineering behind architecture. And I start with rehabilitation, well, in my city, I have to say, it's not in Lisbon, of a super boc arena, well, a pavilion for spectacles, for concerts, for conferences, whatever, for sports. This gives you an idea. And this is the dome, how it is now. This is the reinforcement of the main deck, because you have about 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people jumping there sometimes. So it must be reinforced. This is the work on the dome, and I use this for you to see the lovely bridge, the Rábida Bridge, a world record in 1964, and the Atlantic is over there. How it was and how it is now. And the major thing, they wanted to build a lower roof, a lower floor, I'm sorry, but how could they do that? They had somehow to levitate the main floor. That's a metaphoric way. And what they did was this. They have put some poles all over. And with that, they were able to put to make the lower floor that came like that. And that was it. The other one is what we call an iconic century-old market of fresh fruit from 1800, which was completely rebuilt. The market is in the city center. As you can see, main streets, main busy streets around. No space for lorries or for other equipment to take the goods. This is how it looks today. It is a great success, also touristic success, and there's a problem here because sometimes prices are touristic prices and not prices for people of every day, but that's another discussion. This is the type of work which is behind the architecture. And this is the real design of the infrastructures of communications. And this is the work of the infrastructures of communications. We had a lot of studies here, including from the National Laboratory for Civil Engineering, LNEC, based here in Lisbon, which is a national reference, and not only national. And this is the lower floor where lorries and vans come with the goods to. But not this. What they did, they did construct a tunnel below the streets, below the houses, the next door houses, and here it is. The lorries come through this narrow street and go straight into the entrance. They go straight into the entrance. Just a note of another nature. This was a 150-year-old small shop of seeds, which now looks like that. And these are the many works of art that were recovered. But this is close to engineering. Now, entrepreneurship, a completely different way of doing engineering. Supercapacitors that have been developed by a group of young people with what they say a significant reduction in truck operation costs, and the market is of some things in Europe, 6 million trucks. What these people do is they develop these supercapacitors. Doesn't matter the number of people, 12 workers, it's small teams. A pilot plant with capacity to produce 1,000 cells per year for the moment. And they build the supercapacitors. They are very easy to install. And develop fundamental research in the area of materials for supercapacitors. Develop business, naturally. And at European level, as I mentioned to you, the market is tremendous. They are on the beginning. They are beginning now. I think they are very, they will be successful because they have a very, very good market for them. The other solution is already in the market, well established. It's a solution of what we call the Internet of Things. Again, young people with patented technology designed and built in the European Union. It's active in 35 markets worldwide. And very simply, it's an Internet of Things smart light, which has a number of integrated other features, such as security cameras, air quality sensors, Wi-Fi connections, electric vehicle charges, and so on. Just for you to have an idea of this very simple concept, that's where they build things, but this is the important part. That's where they are disseminated all over the world, 35 countries. They sold more than 3,000 units. They have a financing of 4 million euros. A number of patents. Is a very sharp guy. The CEO is a very sharp guy. 21 people. And the weight of exports is about 70% of the business volume. Another company, if you go through the motorway, you will see in the Portuguese station services this equipment. Very fast charging of electrical vehicles. It's internationally recognized, as I'm going to show to you. They have a significant number of equipment from 550K to 1,600K. 2 minutes and 3 minutes. They were developing during 5 years, first joining the team, then getting the certifications in Europe, in the USA. And again, they are spread all over the world. They are in 30 countries, more than 30 countries, 6 continents. They sold now more than 500 megawatts of equipment. And again, they are with a significant amount of research to continue their development. They were a leader. They have profit. And here we are with a number of solutions. Antwerp, Portugal, Dominican Republic, France, Spain, Hungary, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, US of A, Germany, Brazil, France, Poland, UK, Greece, you name it. The final one, 3 minutes more. It has to do with water. And I had to finish with that. 2 young ladies doing their research here in Portugal. They are working. The problem of desalinization of seawater is complex because it's very costly. And secondly, the brines that are produced are very toxic. What they do, they recover valuable minerals, they increase freshwater efficiency, recovery, and minimize the impact of toxic brine discharge. They've been having a lot of impact nationally, and in newspapers and in companies are very interested on this. Companies are very interested on this technology. As a matter of fact, they are right now developing a pilot plant in the Algarve with this technique. The idea is this. There is an unconscious discharge of brine into the oceans. There is an ecological disruption of the seawater food chain. All over the world, it's amazing the amount of toxic brine that goes to the sea. It's amazing the amount of toxic brine. The opportunity to valorize brine minerals is very significant because it's minerals that duplicate when the brines are recovered. It's minerals that serve various industries. It's minerals that the market is very dependent and dependent on non-European industries. I'm not going to details, but the idea is this. They start by separating, then get an enriched pre-treated brine. This is their trick of the type of reactor they have. They get some more water, mineral production. This water is recovered. And so they increase the efficiency of recovering water. They produce minerals, and they take care of the toxic aspects of the brine. So that's it. Epilogue, one slide. Is world development in the hands of engineering? Well, it is also in the hands of other areas, but it is very much in the hands of engineering and of engineers. Portugal has a large, high-quality installed engineering capacity, both in engineers and in companies, with ambition looking to the outside world. It is fundamental for our collective future that our governments, not only the Portuguese, enhance, boost, support the intervention of engineering, recognizing and using its ability to do. That's the key word. Bring engineering to cooperate more in design of policies, give engineering the responsibility of making and implementing these policies on the field. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Por favor. Não se esqueça. Ai, não, isto é. Não, isto não é seu. Parecia que era o telemóvel. Thank you so much, Professor Sebastião Feyo de Azevedo. You're clearly a very charismatic professor with a passion for your work. This was a real lesson in engineering and in engineering history, Portuguese engineering, future engineering, and now it's a time for a short break. We will resume in about 20 minutes. Thank you.
How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering.
To World Engineering Day, this year about engineering solutions for a sustainable world. Here with me is Mustafa Shehu, World Federation of Engineering Organizations President of Nigeria. What is the relevance of engineering to achieve sustainable development goals?
Well, the relevance of engineering is very obvious actually to achieve almost all the sustainable development goals, because when you talk of sustainable development goals, you must talk about energy, you must talk about poverty, you must talk about potable water supply. All these are issues that have direct bearing on engineering. Without engineering input, you cannot achieve, food production, you cannot achieve fresh water supply, you cannot achieve quality education. Quality education has to do with a lot of engineering, because in getting the teachers, in getting the equipment used in teaching, you have to use engineering. Likewise, when you talk of potable water supply, when you talk of energy sufficiency, energy adequacy in any community or in any country, what kind of energy does any country require? How is that energy generated? What is the input to get that energy? Is it through fossil fuel or through renewable energy sources? All these are issues that have direct bearing on engineering, and that is why engineering, is very critical, in attaining almost all the sustainable development goals.
And what are the main challenges in countries that doesn't have much access to energy in general?
Yeah, there are so many challenges actually, because when we talk of the energy, the challenges on energy varies from one country to another. While one country has the challenge of the energy access, because not all the people in the country have access to electricity. There are many countries like that. And in addition to the lack of overall access, there is also lack of availability of the supply, because in many countries, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, those consumers or those people who are timed to have access to electricity, they don't have access, they really don't have the availability of the supply of electricity 24 hours. So that is also a huge challenge. But that is, directly related to the adequacy of the generation infrastructure, transmission infrastructure, as well as the distribution infrastructure. So sometimes this do not really, match the demand in the country. There are a lot of countries whereby you have the generation is quite adequate, but the transmission line, to convey the electricity from the generating stations to the load centers is not adequate. Or you may have sufficient adequate transmission infrastructure, but the distribution network is grossly is grossly inadequate. So we have to look at all these scenarios, in their proper perspective and see where the effort is needed most.
And what do you think would be the perfect balance between economic progress, social justice, and environmental preservation?
Well, economy has to do with a lot of, social justice also, because you cannot provide this infrastructure without taking cognizance of the cost of the infrastructure. You understand? Because it costs a lot of money to provide any infrastructure. But at the same time, as much as you want the infrastructure to be sustainable, somebody has to pay for it. Be it the individual, be it the government, but overall, the government has to take the lead in making sure that even people have the ability, the capacity to pay for these essential services, because these are actually essential services. They are not luxuries. Having potable water is not a luxury. Having electricity is not a luxury. So it's for the government to make sure that in procuring this infrastructure, they procure it at least cost so that people can afford it. Or if they will have any subsidy, then they have to have a very reliable means of subsidizing that infrastructure, at least for some time. Then gradually, as time goes on, you keep increasing, the cost of this, utility, so that people can afford it easily. So it has to be a gradual and, a balance, between this economy and social impact.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now I think I'm going.
This person has taken out. I need this photograph because I want to send some tweets.
You have to ask to.
Yeah.
Mais costas?
No, pero desde aquí, que se vea el nombre. ¿Se ve eso?
How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering.
Well, now I'm here with Fernando de Almeida Santos, President of Portuguese Engineers Association. Hi. There is so much good engineering in Portugal. Why are we stuck in the brain drain?
Well, it's a difficult question, but because there are too many answers. Firstly, our engineering in Portugal, behind schools and professional issues, is an engineering of excellency. Then our in Ordem dos Engenheiros can have, with our kind of organization, these World Engineering Day organizations and being leadership in engineering in all worlds. But strangely, we have brain drain in the early years of professionals in engineering. Why? First of all, we think because we are a peripheric country in Europe, and there are huge and big opportunities in Central Europe because all Europe needs engineers, and of course some of the salaries and opportunities, mainly in the first, seems, and I do say again that seems that they are better than they are, and they go. Then there are some engineers that come again to Portugal, and our problem is that we have to have a qualified immigration to compensate the brain drain that we have here in Portugal. So that's the problem. We are treating that as a problem, trying to get solutions and trying to evidentiate some examples in Northern Europe mainly, that it's not so true that big salary is big quality of life.
And what's the importance and the significance of the World Engineering Day happening here in Portugal?
For us, it's very, very strong because, as we said, we have a plan to be inside the world leaderships in engineering. Portugal is a medium country in Europe, small in the global context, but our kind of organization with the strike force of civil society, for example, organized in ordens profissionals, in professional orders as in Portugal, our profession and others, gives us internationally strong, competitive, strong against, for example, Spain, France, or even Italy, because we concentrate all engineering and we are a arm of state in our obligations. So we have a very nice international penetration. We get some presidencies internationally, and we want to reinforce that with inside organizations to show that Portugal is an international player in engineering. So for us it is important to reaffirmate our presence in world engineering.
What are the main challenges of Portuguese Engineers Association?
For the moment are internal, because we have a new statute. We have to reorganize our competencies for the Portuguese engineers and states. We have two associations in the same profession, and it's not normal. We have to redefine that. We have a year to reorganize all the situations in Portugal, and after that create in the farm, in the floor, the system of evaluation of engineers. It's a pioneer job in engineering in the world. We are doing that. We will be the first, and that's the internal issue. Internationally, I think we can afford for some leadership in some international organizations. That one we was past president, but there are other ones that we want to be in the front.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I'm here with Marlene Kanga, World Federation of Engineering Organizations past president, non-executive director and delivery energy from Australia. Hello. Thank you for including Portugal in World Federation of Engineering Organizations, first of all. What differences do you find between when you were president and nowadays?
Well, a lot has changed. World Engineering Day was declared when I was president. I led the proposal successfully for UNESCO to make this decision. And the celebrations have increased and grown in importance over the last 5 years. Last year we attracted 60 million on social media, and this year we hope the number will be even greater.
And how do you evaluate the country's strategic considerations for decarbonization policies in energy systems?
Well, I think all countries are looking at the energy transition. This is very important if we have to address climate change, and the renewable energy strategies of various countries are really quite aligned. And of course, engineers have a key role in this work. And it's not just the renewable energy technologies like solar and wind energy, but we also have to build transmission systems, and we have to engage with the community. We have batteries to stabilize the grid. So there's a lot of work there for engineers to do, and we're on the journey.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So that's all for now.
Estás primeiro fechado em mim, olha, é agora, não é? Hello, good morning. Welcome to this very special day here in Lisbon. And my name is Carla, and it's a great honor to be with you this morning. I have our first guest. She's a woman. It's not very usual in this area. She comes from Italy, and she's the World Federation of Engineering Organization Executive Vice President, and comes from Italy. And I know that in Italy she's Ania Lopez. I know, Ania, that in Italy you have the same issue. Here we face some labor problems. We can't find labor here. And in Italy it's more or less the same, isn't it?
Yes, I think the problem is of the wall. Of not a lot of women in engineering. It's necessary more women and young engineer for increase, because the technology as the science advance, and it's necessary energy, a new energy. Today I'm talk about is renewable energy and other energy. Now it's very important the new energy to launch the engineering for the future.
Okay, and what about women in this area? There aren't many women interested in coming to engineering. How can we change that?
I think that is work together with a group, women in engineering. This is a committee of WFEO and a new president of Ghana, and I think work together for increase the women and work together with the men, because the alone women is not important. It's all together and work men and women for a new future of engineering of the world.
Okay, and how is this day? It's beginning. It's only in the morning, but how is this day being for you? Are you learning? How do you expect to pass the day?
Yes, this is a special day in Lisbon, and listen the conference of the professor of the president of the Academy of Engineers of Portugal. Very interesting, and the progress of Lisbon to engineer very interesting. And I think that is the specialization. I'm a mechanical engineer, and it is very interesting for the future and idea and point of view, and it's necessary to increase and study every day, every time. I continue to study today. I have my PhD about management, engineer and renewable contract. It's necessary. This is important create the alliance with the international organization. This is very, very important. And now, WFEO, I would like to launch a project with Feyo in Italy, Food Organization Agriculture, for a lot of engineers of the world, because the specialization, engineer and agriculture is together, and this is very important for the future.
For the women that are watching now, streaming, how can we captivate them to come to engineering?
More women in engineer and all together chain of the future.
Thank you, Anya.
Thank you so much.
And we're back with another guest, this time a Portuguese one, a Portuguese engineer. His name is Carlos Neves. And Carlos, welcome, very welcome to this special day here in Lisbon. And can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm basically an engineer, a mechanical one. And I'm also the president of the National College of Mechanical Engineers at Ordem of Engineers. So in terms of professional, I'm basically an engineer, and I'm working basically on in innovation, technology, and the ways that we can address innovation to territories, to cities, and to companies. That's basically what I'm doing in my professional way.
Okay, so this is the first time Lisbon is organizing a conference like this. It's an honor to us. And how do you find that?
Well, it's very important for Portugal to welcome and to host this event, because it's a world event of engineers, and not only because we can communicate what is a big asset for Portugal, that we have more than 600 years of multiculturalism. We are a multicultural country from the 15th century, not from nowadays. And this stress the importance of connecting the dots to establish networks in terms of engineering, in terms of development. And I think this event can highlight these characteristics very well. Of course, it's very important for Portugal to welcome people from abroad. We are a welcome country. But in terms of engineering, this is what I'd like to stress, and I like to highlight, because I think it's a very important issue.
Thank you, Carlos. Enjoy your day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And we're back again, this time with Mozambique, an engineer that comes from Mozambique. His name is Feliciano Dias, and very welcome. I would like you please to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Feliciano Dias, I'm civil engineer, and at the moment I'm the president of Council of Engineers in Mozambique.
Welcome, Feliciano. This has been a very busy morning, lots of learning to do. How do you find, is it important for us here in Portugal to have this conference here?
Yeah, it's important for us because Mozambique is a young country and our organization also is a young organization. And to attend this conference is good for us because we can learn a lot of experience for the oldest country and for the oldest organizations about this, especially for development and the climate change in the world.
Thank you so much, Feliciano, for being with us. And you're always welcome from Mozambique. Is it different, the engineering there? Very different from Portugal?
No, the engineering is in the world language. It's not a difference because will be a difference because we have different stage of the engineering. No? Okay.
So best of luck and enjoy your day. Thank you, Feliciano. Thank you. So we have another guest here, this time from the United Arab Emirates. I can't spell her name, so she's going to do that. And she's a woman, of course, a woman, an engineer, and very welcome here. Can you please introduce yourself?
This is Dr. Nahla Al-Qasimi. I have PhD in town planning. I am national member in the Executive Council at the WFEO. And I am the Vice President of the Society of Engineers at the United Arab Emirates. At the same time, I am Associate Professor in Town Planning at the University and Dean of Students at Ajman University in United Arab Emirates.
I'm very curious because how is it for a woman to work there? Is it, it's not the same that working in Europe. What do you find the most challenging issues in your country?
The challenging issues was in the past, actually, when it was at my time when I graduated. It was not very common that ladies are working in the engineering sector, but now we have many girls and women are working in all sectors, and they are reaching leadership positions in my country. Actually, we have an empowerment approach by the government and by the leadership to women, and we have many ministers as young girls, ministers in a very important ministry of education, in all other fields. So yes.
Wow, it must be challenging at you're for the first time here in Portugal. This is the first time we organize this conference. How are you finding the conference until now?
Actually, the conference, it's a very good subject about the sustainable energy and sustainability and the engineering solutions for sustainable world. Sustainability now is the main issue worldwide based on the climate change and other challenges worldwide, and energy solutions, renewable energies. We just had in our country the COP28. We hosted the COP28, and many important discussions was running there. Here, it is a very good opportunity for good networking, and many professionals and experts in this conference, in which we can listen to insights from worldwide experts in this regard, from UNESCO, from ministers and leaderships from Lisbon and worldwide. So it's a very good opportunity for networking and listening to experts.
Good, we're glad of it. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the conference. Thank you. And now the break is almost done.
How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering. And we're still going further together. For us, for the planet, for the future. How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering.
Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats. We're about to resume this conference day here in Lisbon. Thank you, everyone. Please return to your seats. We will resume in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back to this World Engineering Day Lisbon event. We're here at the Portuguese Association of Engineers, and I would like to remind you that the Portuguese Association of Engineers has every year a theme. This year's theme is gender equality. So as we were speaking before about women engineers, it's quite an interesting and current day subject. That's this year's Portuguese Association of Engineers theme. Well, we'll be going for the next speaker. We'll be talking about a presentation, the Global Engineering Capability Review of 2020, the report that analyzes the achievements and challenges met by engineering in different parts of the world and gives us also recommendations to improve in the future. And to present this review, I now call to the stage Interim Associate Director International at the Royal Academy of Engineering in the United Kingdom, Engineer McHugh. Let's please give him a warm welcome.
Excellencies, esteemed engineers, distinguished guests, my name is McHugh, and I've got the tough job of following Professor de Azevedo's presentation. I can't promise that I'm going to be as fascinating or as far-ranging as he was, but I do think I can tell you some interesting things about global engineering capability. Let me just... There we go. So, for the past 5 years, through our Academy's Engineering X partnership with Lloyd's Register Foundation, we have tackled the challenge of improving safety skills globally. Funding partnerships across sectors and across countries to improve the teaching and promotion of engineering skills, identifying champions of engineering safety skills and empowering them to improve safety and equity in their own environment. Champions like the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, who we helped to develop a new curriculum and professional development course for software safety engineering, training 80 professionals in its first year, and even prompted Tanzanian regulators to develop a policy framework specifically for safety-critical software systems. But really, I think the most powerful work we can do is to build the evidence base and the arguments that can drive improvements in engineering skills across the world. That's why we're so interested in understanding the global picture on engineering skills and mapping out how engineering skills, safety, and sustainability all intersect. Over the past year, we've been working with Standard & Poor to produce the 2024 Global Engineering Capability Review. The review will officially be launched in May, but to mark World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development, we would like to give colleagues from WFEO a sneak preview of some of the highlights. So over the next few minutes, I'll discuss why we created an index, how we built it up, what we discovered in the process, and what we hope to do with it. So we're starting with why. Obviously, it's very interesting to develop a snapshot of the global state of play in engineering skills, but on its own, this is not enough. There were 3 specific questions we really wanted this review to answer: to give the global engineering profession a platform for improvement, and actually to frame our own future activities and investments. So questions are there. Where is the most harm or risk of harm due to unsafe engineering practices? Where will this be in the future? What engineering safety skills are particularly needed? And how do we create engineers with the skills to reduce harm and increase safety in their countries? So how do we go about that? Well, previous attempts to map engineering skills have focused on what was easy to measure: numbers of graduates, professional registration statistics. But we feel there are intangibles that are just as important in determining the health of a country's engineering profession, and they're also much more difficult to evidence. Things like good governance, conscientiousness, ethics, actually some of the things that Professor de Azevedo was talking about earlier. So this time, we didn't shy away from that difficulty. So for the review, we developed 76 indicators clustered in 10 capacity areas. And these range from quite traditional metrics, skills and experience, employment and training, to areas that are much trickier to measure: governance, codes, competence and commitments. We linked these capacity areas to 3 primary stakeholder groups: the engineering profession, governments, and engineering industry, so that we felt the report would have targeted messages for each. Of course, there are multiple synergies between the different groups of indicators, and the engineering profession and engineering institutions have a role to play across all of them. So, using those indicators, what does the global picture of engineering safety skills look like? Well, here's a quick diagram. Across the world, there are 115 countries where data was robust enough to carry out the review. We thought that a numerical ranking of countries would be unhelpful and actually very misleading. So instead, we developed a clustering system, which you can see on the map here. So the groups range from green, where skills are most adequate, to red, for not adequate. And those are countries where the risk of harm due to unsafe engineering practices we feel is very high. But is this really an accurate picture of risk? After all, we're not measuring risk directly. We're just measuring the safety inputs that mitigate it, the skills, partnerships, investments, and values that underpin a safe engineering landscape. What if there are other factors beyond skilled input that change the picture of risk? Well, we decided to test this assumption, and we did it by developing a separate index of safe engineering outcomes and then comparing the 2 indexes. So in this slide, what you see, this very, very busy slide, but what you see is we've mapped the performance of all 115 countries we covered against the Engineering Capability Index on the x-axis, across here, and the Engineering Outcomes Index on the y-axis. And as you can see, there's an extremely strong correlation between the 2. I'm excited by this. I think this is the strongest argument I've seen to date that investment in engineering skills directly correlates to reduced risk in the engineered environment. But actually, I think also that's not the most interesting thing about this graph. I'm looking particularly at those countries in the bottom left quadrant. These are countries where their score on the Engineering Capability Index is actually higher than the Engineering Outputs Index. What can cause this? Well, we think this is actually a leading indicator. We think these are countries that are already making an investment in engineering skills now that will lead to improved safety outcomes in the future. Similarly, there's a top left quadrant which is very empty at the moment, but this could flag up in future countries where skills investment maybe is lagging behind the sophistication of engineered infrastructure in the country. So what are our findings? I'll just give you a few top-line messages. As I've just mentioned, the review provides strong evidence that investing in engineering capacity directly links to safety outcomes. I think this makes a compelling argument to policymakers that investment in the engineering infrastructure and the engineering skills ecosystem is a key component of a safe, sustainable, and prosperous society. Further good news is that engineering capability is much more broadly distributed than we'd originally imagined. All countries were ranked as adequate in at least one measure, and 47 different countries all across the world have exemplary capacity in at least one of the 10 capacity areas. And while safety skills are stronger overall in traditional engineering powers, the reviews show that there are countries in every continent that are local leaders in engineering safety skills. And the review actually is going to argue that regional alliances, learning from regional champions, could be a simple and swift way to really boost engineering capacity quickly. A final takeaway is that partnerships to boost engineering capacity between government, academia, and industry, across sectors and across countries, they were really weaker than we expected across the globe. Again, we think this could be an opportunity. Improving the incentives for international and cross-sectoral partnerships could catalyse dramatic improvements in skills. It also suggests that we need more evidence on what partnerships work and why. The global review, it takes account of engineering safety as it exists today, but we know that the nature of engineering safety is changing as rapidly as engineering changes, and we've heard a lot about that earlier. Emerging technologies such as large language models, engineering biology, and quantum computing bring with them unprecedented safety and ethics challenges. Also, our need to embed circularity and carbon neutrality across all of society means broadening our understanding of safety to include environmental and ecological safety. That is why the review showcases case studies of how engineers globally are identifying and responding to new safety challenges. From developing responsible AI, like the new WFEO report launched today, to recycling renewable energy infrastructure, we undertook deep dives into the safety problems that engineers are struggling with today. And we also hope to identify new challenges that the Engineering X can work on with its global partners, including WFEO, in the years ahead. I'll finish my presentation with an example of the impact this approach can have. Today, to celebrate World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development, we are launching a global partnership to tackle open burning of waste, a serious safety and health challenge, as well as a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Engineering X at the Academy is leading a consortium that's received $1.3 million of funding from UNEP Climate and Clean Air Coalition to help end the open burning of waste by 2040. So this 2-year project will produce roadmaps for phasing out open burning in 3 continents, Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. And we'll pilot these roadmaps in city-level projects. And we hope the case studies contained within this review will inspire further partnerships to address the major 21st century challenges. And very finally, I'd like to issue a little call for action to our friends in WFEO. Because in the end, the review is just a tool, and the tool will only be as powerful as the community who use it. So please bookmark our website. You can use the QR code, that massive QR code, if you can get it. You might need to shrink your picture to get it all in. This is where the review will appear when it's published in May. Along with the review, the website will contain interactives for each country that will allow you to delve deeper into national and regional performance across a whole range of indicators. We would also like you to be our champions. Share the data with your national stakeholders. Use it in your arguments to promote investment in engineering skills. And please, feed back to us on what works and what doesn't, so that we can continuously improve the quality of our data and our analysis. Together, we can use this review as a guide to improve the engineering skills that underpin social and economic growth and help us all build a safe and sustainable world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer McHugh, for this Global Engineering Capability Review of 2024. The World Engineering Hackathon is a unique international competition where engineering students work in teams to solve a real-world problem with a solution that advances one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Since the registration opened in October 2023, there were 200 teams from 33 countries competing. 12 finalist teams have been selected, and today the winner will be announced. And to make that announcement of the winner of the Hackathon Awards, I call to the stage another past president of the World Federation of Engineering Organization, a leader of science, technology, engineering and mathematics organizations in Australia and other countries. Please let's give a round of applause to Dr. Marlene Kanga.
Your Excellencies, leaders from engineering organizations from around the world, and current and past presidents of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations and members of the Executive Council of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. It is a great honor and privilege to be here on World Engineering Day in Portugal. As you know, I was born in Goa, and which was a former colony, Portuguese colony. So Portugal is in my blood and in my heart. So greetings, everyone, and happy World Engineering Day. As I've just been introduced, I'm a past president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations from 2017 to 2019, and I successfully led the proposal for 4th March to be declared World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development. The theme of World Engineering Day 2024 is Engineering Solutions for a Sustainable World. Once again, our focus has been on young engineers and student engineers to enjoy the celebrations for World Engineering Day. We therefore conceived the World Engineering Day Hackathon, which has engaged young engineers and students from around the world. This amazing event would not have been possible without the support of Engineers Without Borders International, and I thank them sincerely. I would also like to thank the contributors and sponsors of this very important event. I'd also like to thank the working group and the judges from around the world who have made this event possible, especially the chair of the Young Engineers Future Leaders Forum, who cannot be here with us today, Mr. Firas Boudia. Our preliminary judging panel comprised nearly 30 judges from around the world who volunteered their time to assess all the projects that we received. Our finalist judges were representatives of the Federation's partners and from UNESCO. This was a great effort in international collaboration. Each year, we select some UN Sustainable Development Goals to highlight for the hackathon. This year, our focus was on climate action, the SDG number 13. We also focused on the Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger, Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is good health and well-being, and Sustainable Development Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. Hackathon teams had to choose one of these to develop an innovative solution. The challenges in summary were Challenge 1, which related to Sustainable Development Goal 2, feeding 10 billion people in a changing climate and sustainably providing affordable, accessible, nutritious diets for future populations. How can we do that? Challenge 2, focusing on SDG 11, Sustainable Cities, promoting climate action through sustainable cities and communities, from the buildings we live in, transport, mobility, and data and information to make informed decisions. How can engineers support this? And Challenge 3, SDG 3, Good Health, which is how do we improve city design and infrastructure, rethink our new technologies, and retrofit existing ones so that our living places are dynamic, equitable places for people to enjoy better health and well-being. And the solutions were also required to be consistent with engineering solutions for a sustainable world, the theme for the 2024 celebrations. The challenges were developed in partnership with Engineers Without Borders, who worked tirelessly on this program with us. Now, the judging criteria, as in previous years, were based on the International Engineering Alliance, a partner of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, their graduate attributes and professional competencies framework, which underpins the mutual recognition of engineering qualifications across 30 signatories and 41 jurisdictions around the world. We received more than 2,500 individual registrations, and some 200 teams eventually registered and made submissions. They were from 33 countries from around the world. This was a huge step up from the previous year, a big increase. We had a prize pool of 7,000 euros, 4,000 euros to the first place winner, 2,000 to second place, and 1,000 to the third place. All participants will receive a certificate of participation from the World Federation of Engineering Organizations. Our preliminary judges judged the first round, and 12 finalists were selected. Then the finalist judges, including myself, judged that final round. We have now completed that judging, and I'm very pleased to make the announcement of the top 3 winners of the 2024 World Engineering Day Hackathon. So in third place, I'm pleased to announce the winner of 1,000 euros is Team Green Space. Green, which stands for Green Sustainable
Fossil fuel dominates all energy sources as it is responsible for supplying 80% of the world's total energy requirement. But the problem is, it is the main cause of carbon emissions that drastically increase global temperatures. Transportation, keeping the lights on, crop failures are also some of the human activities that contribute to carbon footprints. Who are affected? Refugees and internally displaced people. They experience extreme heat. They only live in temporary settlements in which materials cannot cope with the extreme temperature during hot days. The situation may get worse when heat waves occur. How might we protect them from extreme heat while reducing our carbon footprints?
Our team presents Green Space, sustainable phytophens assembled using cured source collected urine for urban environmental balance. Green Space is a proposed design for shelters that employs biofencing through the application of microalgae. It mainly addresses SDG 13, climate action, and also it contributes to SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, SDG 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and lastly, SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities.
The highlight of Green Space is the cultivation of microalgae in treated human feed. On average, an individual urinates about 1 to 1.5 liters per day, which is about 7 to 10.5 liters per week, and about 1,050 to 1,575 liters per week in a community comprising of at least 150 people. Urine has a high concentration of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that microalgae can capture and use for its growth. To do this, an improvised urine diversion toilet has to be set up in concrete rooms. In this way, pure urine can be obtained.
To kill pathogens, batch samples of urine will be sterilized in an autoclave. Thereafter, the reduction of color and odor of the urine will be facilitated using a 3-layer filter consisting of vetiver grass, carbon filter, and sand filter.
Treated nutrient-rich urine is now ready for optimization.
optimal biomass growth of microalgae will be examined through dilution of 1:25 to 1:300. Peer-reviewed study indicates that diluted urine samples can provide an even more ideal environment for microalgae. The inoculum of the microalgae C. vulgaris can now be mixed in a photobioreactor with urine as media.
The advantage of this innovation is that microalgae can exploit the concentrated nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in urine for their growth, thus producing biomass that can be used as biofuel, creating an opportunity for a less harmful source of energy. And for wastewater treatment facilities, the use of microalgae can be helpful in the further treatment of yellow wastewater.
We will utilize the biofencing of microalgae to defend people from the scorching heat of the sun. Microalgae will also capture carbon dioxide through the ducts in the fabricated container, thus reducing toxic emissions in the surroundings. The green space will also be installed with a solar panel in order to light up during the nighttime and function as a photobioreactor while providing illumination. After some time, the urine and microalgae mixture can be easily replenished through pre-designed inlet and outlet. To sum up, green space will serve as a biomass producer, urine's tertiary treatment, biofence, polluted air purifier, light source, and ultimately, a cool space where everyone can relax.
We are planning to cooperate and seek funding from the Department of Science and Technology to improve our urine treatment capacity and upscale our microalgae cultivation. With green space, experience a harmonious blend of nature and urban living where everyone can thrive in a cool, comforting, and sustainable environment.
So that's a sustainable use of resources which can come from any place. So it was very innovative. And the judges thought that was a very innovative way to provide shelter in refugee camps and also to improve health by ensuring that people urinate in designated areas where the urine is collected, avoiding unhygienic conditions. I think this very innovative product is well worthy of the third place and wins 1,000 euros. The team is from Batangas State University in the Philippines. So congratulations to them. So now we will watch the second place winner, which is Team EcoCool. This team is from the University of British Columbia, Okanagan, Canada, and they addressed challenge number 3. Congratulations to Team EcoCool for an excellent entry. The judges thought this was a great innovative design to address energy-efficient cooling and appreciated the innovation of an effective ventilation and cooling system for existing shelters using water and solar cells as well to make it self-sustainable. The feasibility of the deployment was well researched, the design was well thought out, and they used some computerized tools, 3D printing, computerized fluid dynamics to show the effects of cooling that were achieved. The outcome also demonstrated excellent collaboration, communication, and teamwork to address important goals such as SDG 13, climate action, SDG 3, good health, SDG 7, energy, and SDG 11, sustainable cities. So now let's watch their submission. Thank you.
Afghanistan, Papua New Guinea, and Central America. These are some of the countries most underprepared for extreme heat, and the summer of July 2023 was the hottest month ever recorded since the 1880. This is bound to increase due to an increased population and consumption, leading to a more severe effect of global warming in the coming year. There are over 6 million internally displaced persons in Afghanistan, and their shelter is not enough to protect them from the heat. So our team come up with solutions to save them. Introducing EcoCool, a cost-effective cooling system that could be installed in existing shelter to help ventilate and cool down the whole shelter through the use of water. Using solar panels, the system is self-sustainable, and the attach-on feature means the system is also applicable to regular households and reduce energy consumption by replacing the traditional air conditioner system. Our system achieved 3 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals: good health and well-being, affordable and clean energy, and sustainable cities and communities.
After brainstorming, we knew that the passive cooling is the way to go. We found a very old yet clever invention that utilized the physics phenomenon of water evaporation energy to reduce temperature for food storage. The clay is a very special material with high heat conductivity, and it is made from one of the most abundant resources available, soil. So what if we made a wall with clay and ran it through the water system? So we ran a simulation to visualize the possibility, and the result was amazing.
To begin this project, we need to have the shelter itself. So I have been created a 3D model of the shelter, referring from the IKEA shelter, which is one of the most well-designed shelters at this moment. They were widely used all over the world. The size and the shape of the shelter will be used later on in the simulation part.
We designed EcoCool by using computer-aided design software. The study of breathing wall by Craig and Greenham in 2017 shows an impressive cooling ability, but they didn't mention about optimal size of holes. So we varied the size of the holes and then tested it out in small scales by using 3D printed models. Eventually, we chose a 1 cm diameter version of our models.
To test the efficiency of the eco-cooling system, we decided to use a simulation to simulate the environment of the shelter in the form of 3-dimensional array, and the result from the simulation will be the distribution of heat and temperature inside of the shelter. And we'll make 2 assumptions to simplify our model. The first one, we will consider the sun to be one and only one source of energy in our model. And the second one is, we do not consider other external factors such as rain, weather, or the temperature of the furniture inside of the shelter. And on the screen right now is the temperature gradient from the simulation. The left figure is the gradient of the air inside the shelter without EcoCool, and the right figure is the one with EcoCool. The simulation will start from the sunrise and end at the sunset with 1 minute time steps. For the sun, we establish a function to control the trajectory of the sun and the intensity of the sunlight. To simulate the gradient, we use heat equation to predict the behavior of the heat transpiration. And for our cooling system, we use rate of evaporation to approximate the rate of coolant. Finally, we can see that EcoCool can averagely reduce the temperature of the shelter from 5 to 6 degrees Celsius, especially in the space near the ventilation hole.
And next, I would like to talk about how we can assemble the EcoCool and bring it to life. The panels are made from local soil, mixed with water, shaped in a mold, and baked. This clay panel can also be prefabricated off-site before transporting to the shelter location for quick and easy installation. I designed frames to securely attach the panel to the shelter wall, which are applicable to both rigid and flexible shelter walls. To circulate water through the panel for evaporative cooling, I designed a small power unit that includes a pump, a battery, and a controller. There are also connection ports on the side to connect the power from solar cell and connect the sensor to ensure that there's water running in the system.
The cost estimation of EcoCool AC is around $16 per shelter, which is 44 times cheaper than traditional AC and far less energy consuming.
So to sum up, not only does our team innovation save lives, but it could also reduce energy consumption, create a financially effective way for the government to save lives, and contribute to stopping global warming. There are more and more people at risk of dying from heat wave every day, and we hope to bring the EcoCool system to life to save those in need. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations again to Team EcoCool, and they win a prize of €2,000. And just to explain, in terms of the criteria, you saw the collaboration of the team, how they worked out the engineering solution and presented some of that, their use of digital tools, and the fact that they actually built the system. All these were quite important factors, as well as, of course, producing that amazing video and communicating as well, something that we engineers have to work very hard to do. Communication not being the strongest suit, but I think these kids have done an amazing job. And so finally, to the moment we've all been waiting for, the winner of the 2024 World Engineering Day Hackathon. The team will win 4,000 euros. And I'm very pleased to announce that the team is Team Somiant. This team is from Yache Tech University, Ecuador. Now, this team presented a solution that addressed Challenge 2, SDG 13 Climate Action, and SDG 11 Sustainable Communities. SOMIANT, S-O-M-I-A-N-T, stands for Satellite-Oriented Monitoring of Integrated Analysis of El Nino Tracking. This is a climate intelligence network tool that shows the areas that are most susceptible to damage due to the El Nino phenomenon in the coastal areas of Ecuador. The tool is especially designed to be accessible to everyone. The finalist judges commented that this entry was resourceful and innovative, used data from multiple sources to predict weather and to provide warnings to the general population. The team presented excellent research and produced a good video to show their solution. And it was wonderful to see their collaboration efforts work so well. So let's rewatch their submission now.
Hemos escuchado que el cambio climático cada vez se agrava, provocando derretimiento de los cascos glaciares del planeta, resultando en un incremento en el nivel del mar, veranos más calientes, inviernos más fríos, lluvias intensas o sequías prolongadas. El fenómeno del Niño, también conocido como ENSO, es un evento climático que se genera por el calentamiento del Océano Pacífico, el cual limita en las costas de nuestro país, Ecuador. El ENSO tuvo mayor afectación en nuestro perfil costero en 1997-1998, donde hubo una pérdida de 2.882 millones de dólares. Actualmente se estima que para este año 2023 y 2024 el fenómeno será más fuerte. Sin embargo, estas pérdidas se pueden disminuir si la comunidad conoce sobre los riesgos que conlleva el ENSO y si les dijera que no estamos indefensos ante este golpe de la naturaleza. Hoy les presentamos una solución innovadora que no solo enfrenta, sino que anticipa, mitiga los impactos de El Niño y nos enseña cómo actuar ante este desastre natural.
El Niño es un fenómeno que afecta significativamente el clima en varias partes del mundo y ocurre cada 2 o 7 años con una intensidad variada, afectando drásticamente la temperatura hasta 4 grados centígrados más sobre la normal. Estos cambios en la temperatura del agua también afectan los denominados vientos alisos, los cuales en condiciones normales son los encargados de transportar el agua caliente frente a las costas de nuestro país hacia las costas de Australia y Japón, al oeste. En épocas del Niño ocurre una disminución de los mismos y en algunos casos en cambios completos de la dirección de estos, provocando intensos periodos de sequía y precipitaciones resultando en inundaciones y en algunos casos hasta incendios. En Ecuador, la falta de datos o la carencia de información obstaculiza nuestra capacidad de respuesta.
Imaginen la capacidad de anticipar, de poder ver en tiempo real el desarrollo del fenómeno del Niño en todas las provincias del Ecuador. Esto no es solo una posibilidad, sino la esencia de nuestra solución, un software de monitoreo en tiempo real que use datos satelitales para proporcionar información y ver la evolución del desarrollo del fenómeno del Niño. En el 97 y el 98, muchas de las comunidades costeras quedaron destruidas. Por ejemplo, en la península de Santa Elena, en La Libertad, el malecón quedó arrasado. Las casas en Manglar Alto derribadas y el muro de contención en Montañita tuvo que ser reconstruido. Al sur del país nos encontramos en Santa Rosa, donde el río por el que pasa esta ciudad se desbordó. Este panorama es muy similar a las comunidades que viven en la provincia de Los Ríos, provincia llena de estos afluentes fluviales. Y en los últimos años, al norte del país, en Esmeraldas, hemos venido viendo estos eventos de inundación múltiples veces. Hoy, el clima no es el mismo de hace 25 años. Reconocer los lugares más susceptibles nos ayudará a que este evento deje de ser una tragedia.
El software propuesto va más allá de ser una simple herramienta de observación.
Se trata de una red de inteligencia climática diseñada para ser accesible para todos. El monitoreo en tiempo real utiliza algoritmos para analizar patrones climáticos, previendo posibles escenarios y sus impactos. Esto significa que no solo reaccionamos, sino que anticipamos, marcando la diferencia en la preparación ante el fenómeno del Niño. Una de las funcionalidades claves es la capacidad de segmentar imágenes, permitiendo a los usuarios visualizar el progreso del fenómeno en cada provincia ecuatoriana. Este enfoque basado en imágenes ofrece una comprensión más completa y accesible para todos los usuarios. Esto permite acceder a la información en cualquier momento y lugar. Además del monitoreo continuo, el software enviará notificaciones y alertas a los usuarios sobre cambios significativos, garantizando una respuesta inmediata y eficiente. Estas funcionalidades no solo convierten a nuestro software en una herramienta de observación, sino en un aliado esencial para la toma de decisiones informadas.
Implementar esta iniciativa no solo significa mitigar los impactos que el niño puede llegar a tener, sino también estar un paso adelante en la construcción de un futuro más resiliente. La capacidad de toma de decisiones informadas y responder de manera rápida marca la diferencia en la protección de nuestras comunidades que son afectadas de diferente manera y la prevención de nuestro entorno. Presentamos esta iniciativa siendo conscientes de que somos arquitectos de nuestra resiliencia y este software es la herramienta que nos permite construir cimientos sólidos que nos permitirán enfrentar a diferentes desafíos climáticos que se nos avecinan. El cambio climático no es solo una amenaza, es una realidad ineludible que necesita de nuestra atención y acción inmediata. Juntos podemos ser los guardianes de nuestro entorno, protegiendo nuestra tierra para las generaciones venideras.
That was fantastic. I'm sure you will agree. And we encouraged all the teams to present in their own language and provide subtitles. And this is, I think, the first winner we've had where the presentation has not been in English. The 12 finalists were all very inspiring. And if you have the time, please go on the World Engineering Day website and take a look. There's a very broad diversity of topics that they have addressed. And very many languages spoken as well, which what made it very interesting. So thank you everyone for your attention, and I hope that all members of the Federation, all the universities represented here today have been inspired by these presentations and will encourage your universities, your students to participate in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marlene Kanga, and congratulations to all the Hackathon Awards winners. They actually give us a glimpse into the future of engineering and showed us ingenious solutions to sustainability problems. And we're almost closing this morning's event on engineering solutions for a sustainable world. But the World Engineering Day of 2024 will continue both here at the Portuguese Association of Engineers Headquarters in Lisbon and online, where I've been told that close to 12,000 people are watching us right now. So thank you so much for being with us for the last few hours this morning. So to officially close this morning's event, I call again to the stage Professor José Vieira, past president of the World Federation of Engineering Associations.
Okay, dear fellow engineers and friends, I promise that I will be very brief to close this ceremony. Celebrating the World Engineering Day means an excellent opportunity to highlight the importance and the relevance of that engineering and the engineering profession represents in building social progress to serve humanity and the environment. Engineering has always had an essential role in development and human welfare, ensuring the future generations of engineers and scientists will be able to design solutions for local and global challenges is critical. Therefore, the celebration of this day worldwide promotes awareness of engineering as a career, mainly for young students and especially for girls. In fact, even in countries where the numbers of female students who graduate have increased. This trend has not translated into more women entering the engineering profession. We know that the well-being of societies is closely related to their degree of wealth and the sustainable access to infrastructures, facilities, and services. And we also understand that advances in science and engineering are the key for scaling up and improving infrastructure for poverty reduction and facing the challenges of global warming and climate change. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth. I believe that celebrating the World Engineering Day, we are raising awareness of the role of engineering in modern life, which is essential in finding and implementing innovative solutions to face those threats and challenges, particularly important for developing countries. On the other hand, WFEO, as a representative of engineering at a global level, has to sit on those places where decisions are made on the social and economic repercussions of the energy transition, digital transformation, water infrastructures, technology in monetary system, technology in security, in professional mobility, and so on. These will contribute to the perception of the relevance of engineering and the work of engineers in building social and economic progress in the context of sustainable development. Thank you for your attention.
So again, thank you so much for your presence, for being here in Lisbon with us, and to everyone who's watching online live in this 24-hour global stream that I believe it started in Australia. It's passing now through Portugal and will continue in this World Engineering Day of 2024. Here in Lisbon, we'll continue in the afternoon, I believe at about 2 o'clock, 2:30? Yes, I think it's the time that we'll resume with another conference. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
How did we get here? We progressed. We empowered. We innovated. How did we do it? With engineering. And we're still going further together. For us, for the planet, for the future.